Hey guys, Sean here. Today, Luke and I are back with another tier list. Today, we'll be ranking the best machine decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! So we have a few tiers here. We have...
Cyber Dragon these nuts. Crowler, I barely know her. Inflict 2k, I like trains. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. First up, we have Spriggans. Spriggans are actually really cool.
Yeah, you've played with them on Master Duel a little bit, haven't you? So you have some experience.
So obviously, Spriggans came out and they were really bad, but then they got some support and they became like pretty damn good. So obviously they got Champion Sargus, which is really cool because it searches a Tyrion. You can get out your Regulus, which is very cool. They also have a Soul Charge type card with the Tally Ho, so you can just bring out like 3 monsters from the grave. It's a very fun deck. It's a very fun like kind of Xyz deck that revolves around like detaching material from your cards. So I'd say it goes about up here. It's probably not as good as a lot of these decks, but it's very fun. So we're going to put it in Crowler, I barely know her. It's also an Albaz archetype technically, so it gets like the support that way,
Everything's an Albaz archetype anyways. Honestly, these days.
Yeah.
Okay, ABC Dragon Buster. This is the kind of deck that like it never got bad. It started out as like somewhat okay. It got really, really good. I don't think it was ever like a tier 0 deck, but it's still a really fun deck that people can just pick up and play, and it still can like steal games because it's just that strong. So it definitely deserves a spot in the second tier in Crowler. I barely know her.
It's cool that like a Union deck kind of got its time in the sun, because a good Union deck is good to see. Union Carrier and all that kind of made this deck like playable, and it still is playable now because you can run Ancient Fairy Dragon to search Union Carrier, and then you can go into your like Tyrion, Regulus. There is kind of like a level 7 type of deck strategy that revolves around these cards. So it's a very cool deck. Cool to see it's still relevant. It's kind of always been relevant since it came out. So definitely not top tier, but definitely deserves like very high Crowler tier. Now, what deserves the highest tier on this list is Roids, Vehicle Roids. Best deck in the game. Best machine deck, but best deck in the game.
Just because of Cyrus, honestly.
Cyrus is a fucking icon.
Yeah, just because Cyrus was just so handsome that he absolutely hypnotized his opponents, meaning that he never lost at all in the anime, is the reason why Speedroids and Roids are just so undefeated even to this day.
They're so good that Konami had to make an updated Speedroid archetype, which is objectively worse, but you can't beat the classic, it makes sense. Roids, best deck, let's go. A deck that's not good is Ally of Justice. This is a machine deck apparently.
Catastor's good.
Catastor's okay, and there's that one like hand trap that like banishes 2 lights from your opponent's grave, which is good during light formats. But yeah,
haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, Drytron was like the last one, so it's been a while, and even then people wouldn't run this. As an archetype, it's just bad. It has some cool cards, but yeah, like there's not much we can say. It's Ally of Justice. It's not good. What is pretty good is Cleafort. So Cleafort, like when it came out, it was pretty damn good. And then they got the Towers, and like Towers monsters are named after Cleafort Towers, It's game changing in that way, because it was one of the first monsters that was like unaffected by your opponent's card effects. It was 3k, so you have to like beat into it. And it could just like destroy cards as well. So, the archetype is actually not too bad either. Especially with the link like Cleafort Genius. There was a format where this deck was like, top tier, and it's fallen off a lot, but it's still a very cool deck, so I think it deserved a spot in the mid tier. Dino Mist, Simo moment, let's go.
What a C moment. This was hilarious. I didn't even know this deck was good until I seen it on progression, and my god, this deck is kind of crazy, and I actually really respect it for it. I don't necessarily think it's like any meta contention by any means, but it's still a nice fun deck that I'd like to try at some point. So definitely at the low Inflict 2k or at the top of I Like Trains.
Probably the top of I Like Trains, because it's Dino Mist, they're pendulums, they're cringe, but I respect it.
So harsh. TGs.
Okay, TGs are getting like a lot of really good support. Now I haven't read any of it yet. I know it's like really high level synchro stuff. Some of the TG monsters like right now are really good. Like Dawn Dryce was just a really good negate. I feel like until I read the cards, they're probably around here. Just because, once new support comes out, it's going to be like a playable deck. Until then, it's probably around here.
Yeah, very, very synchro heavy deck. I mean, TG Hyper Librarian is still limited to this day, rightfully so. Yep, just shows the power. They have a really good card that's still limited and probably will be for the rest of life. So that's it. Okay, now the next deck is Cyber Darks. We do not like Cyber Darks. We do not associate Cyber Darks with Cyber Dragons. Cyber Darks suck. Anyone who has a problem with that, they can take it up with me in my office. I swear to God, if you taint your Cyber Dragon deck with any Cyber Dark that is not Cyber Dark Chimera, you are wrong. Gadgets.
Gadgets, alright, gadgets are based. Gadgets are just awesome. We love
Peak deck
gadgets.
building was the gadget that you're able to fuse some ancient gear stuff in it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that was peak deck building right there. That was during the time that if you activated a field spell, i.e. Gear Town, and then you activate another Gear Town over it, that counts as you destroying your field spell, so you get the advantage off of Gear Town that way.
Which honestly, it should have been like, they should have kept it that way. Because why not?
Because peak Yu-Gi-Oh! Ancient Gear's
It's
best deck,
gone.
let's go.
Peak Yu-Gi-Oh! Is gone. We can't play Ancient Gears anymore.
How dare you.
We'll go with the Numeron now. Numeron, honestly, it should just go here for being cringe. This deck is fucking cringe.
You are salty as fuck, alright?
I lost a Master Duel Challenger Cup to Numeron because I didn't understand the damage step. And I will never forget this. So,
You know what? I would put it in the mid inflict 2k, but
Fine.
it should really be inflict 8k or whatever the hell they managed to do.
inflict 16k.
Inflict 16.
Alright, Mega Phantom Beast. They were pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of really good ones. As a deck, like, you can't really make a Mega Phantom Beast deck. But there are a lot of really good cards in this archetype. Like Auroradon, the rank 7, the O-Lion. You know, these cards are really good.
Yeah, I really like the cards. I would like to pick up the deck at some point, but you know, I don't think there's ever gonna be a pure Mecha Phantom Beast deck unless if they get the support that Super Heavy Samurai got. But until then, they still have great cards, but not really a good consistent archetype within itself.
Bring back Health Boys, there we go. Alright, Geargia. Geargia is based because they have the guy who plays Rock Paper Scissors with you in Master Duel. So that's all I need to say. Based. We have Mech Lords here. I gotta be honest, I don't know what Mech Lords do, but they look cool.
If this was from a design standpoint, just chef's kiss.
I'm pretty sure they're really bad though, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they're bad.
Legit. Okay, Sean makes pretty much all these tier lists. I never heard of this archetype until I just seen the picture about 5 minutes ago.
We pulled some in the Immortal fucking Phoenix or whatever. That one Legendary Duelist set with Marek in it.
Did we? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
And they're not good.
Okay.
Cristrons. Cristrons are pretty good. Especially when they had Hulk. But
This is after Hulk though. This is post Hulk.
yeah.
So I put it a bit lower.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's probably better than this. Cristrons, like, they do some cool stuff. You know, they have the one level 10 guy who can, like, destroy a bunch of cards. If you check out CBR's list on the best machine monsters, that Crystron level 10 guy will be there. And, you know, that list is awful. This deck is not the best, but it's kind of cool. They have some cool synchro guys. With Hulk in it, it was great. But, you know, Hulk is the best thing that ever happened to Cristrons. So, you know how it is. Gimmick Puppets. Did you know Gimmick Puppets were machines? Because I didn't.
No, I don't know why I thought they were fiends, to be honest with you.
They looked like fiends.
Yeah, but you know, no one plays Gimmick Puppets, they suck. Like, the only good one is
Nightmare.
Nightmare, and even Gimmick Puppets don't play Nightmare in Gimmick Puppet decks. They play Nightmare in Branded. So obviously not that great. Anyways, I like trains.
I love trains, but I love trains too much, so, you know, we have to put them up in Inflict 2k.
I love any deck that I build now that has machines besides Cyber Dragon. I always insert a mini train engine just because it's so good.
It's so good. Oh, it's the best. Because, you know, you inflict for 2k, and then you go into Juggernaut Lieb, and you go like 6k. So it's beautiful. It's kind of like Zeus, but not Zeus, you know what I mean? It's Zeus, but Earth Machine.
This was Zeus before Zeus.
Exactly. So based. We have here Infinitrax, genuinely one of the best machine decks. Like, if you play pure Infinitrax, it's actually a good machine deck.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. The playstyle is really cool. Like, you kind of rank up slowly, so you go into your level 5, your 5 can turn into your level 7, your level 7 can turn into your level 9, your level 9 can, like, destroy a bunch of cards in the field. You can go your level 9 into your Juggernaut Lieb with the field spell. So it's just insane. This is one of the only decks as well that can just make Zeus, like normally. Like you can summon your level 2, then you can summon a train, and you can use a level 2 to turn both your monsters into level 12s. And then you just go into Zeus. So it's awesome. Turn 1 Zeus, there we go.
And also, they had a staple in arguably one of the best decks of all time, Zodiac, with their Link Tree Infinitrack monster.
Oh, Megaclops.
Yeah, Megaclops.
I forgot about him. He's like an insanely strong towers. Also, Cash was playing the Link monster, Goliath, because they could banish it with Extravagance. Or not, they could banish it with Prosperity, and then they could use a Rise Heart to equip it from the banish face down pile, and then it made it so you couldn't kill a Rise Heart with card effects. So, you know, pretty good. Yeah, Infinitracks are awesome. Sky Strikers. Do you consider Sky Strikers a machine deck? Because technically it has more machine monsters than warriors.
You know what? I didn't. I don't know why. I always think of Sky Strikers as I just know it as the spell deck.
Even the weird like support, even the weird new support they got from the Battles of Legends set is all machines as well.
Yeah, and I tell you, when Camille comes out, she's a machine as well, so that's gonna be great. But yeah, Sky Striker best deck, let's go. I would happily count this as any kind of deck. It's a deck for everyone that everyone can enjoy.
You're kind of right.
Let's just go. Sky Striker best deck, let's go. And by the way, before you comment, I know she's 13. We all know she's 13.
Luke addresses the allegations.
We are just saying we like the deck, you crazy motherfuckers.
Alright, Karikura, or Karikuri, or whatever the fuck you call it.
Legit good deck.
Yeah, it's actually like really cool. I was even trying to run this in Ancient Gears. I was cooking, I'll be honest with you. Probably not good in Ancient Gears. However, it's a really cool deck. I love how you go into the synchros and they kind of bring out small monsters from the deck, and then you go into higher synchros. And when they change battle position, they do different effects and stuff like that. It's a very, very cool deck. Don't know much about it, to be honest, but they're Earth machines, so that makes them even cooler.
Gen X, they're getting a good bit of support now, so they might actually see some more play coming up soon. I don't know if it's going to be good necessarily. I think it might be outshined by TG, but still Gen X, it's still really cool to see one of the lesser machine decks get some good support, and it's about time, so pretty good. In the last few years, and like, you know, this year as well, we're getting a lot of synchro support, which is very strange. I feel like there's a lot of synchro stuff, like recently. And it's funny, because I can't think of a synchro deck that's actually good right now, besides Vanadium. So it's very strange. But you know, it's cool. Synchros are a cool mechanic, and I'll be honest with you, didn't think GX were synchros, but yeah, I think their main guy is a tuner, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. Drytron are very good. I hate to say it, but they're very good. I think the deck would be tolerable if it wasn't for that, like, what's that, a Herald Fairy guy, Herald of Ultimateness or something like that, just negates everything. That is the most cringe monster in the whole game. Yeah, luckily Eva being banned brought it a little bit of control, but yeah, that's just, it was painful to play through. Such a strong deck. It still annoys me to this day. Alright, we have the best deck in the game, Cyber Dragons, let's go! Literally, the greatest deck of all time. I still play it to this day. I love it so much. We just recorded a Master Duel video where we were playing this deck and we dominated. If that's out before this one, check it out because that was a lot of fun. Just using both of our brains together to beat some of the best decks out right now, like Cash, Labyrinth, Sprite. We beat them all with Cyber Dragon. It was just too easy. The best deck, let's go. Like, it's such a good going second deck, but even going first, you can set up like Infinity and other stuff as well. Even if we're just talking about like individual monsters, Cyber Dragon on its own changed the game. Yeah, exactly. We left GOAT format when Cyber Dragon came out. Exactly, and the Cyber Dragon as a deck, it's one defining feature that is just breaks boards. It contact fuses, or it power bonds and attacks multiple times. It's just, you know, it is the going second deck. So, very based, Cyber Dragon these nuts, let's go. Let's go. Gizmex. Gizmex are good for this one card. Which honestly puts them up pretty high. Because it's a good card, Gizmek Orochi. Yeah, but you know, people mostly use that for absolute bullshit decks like Grand Module and stuff. Yeah. So, losing points for that. Yeah, but not as cringe as Numeron, so you need to go to therapy with Numeron, I think. Never. We got Morphtronic here.
I love this deck. This deck is just so funny. I remember just having a bunch of cards as a kid, like a bunch of Morphtronic cards, and I just tried to turn it into a deck, and it kind of worked. They're just like funny. They're just like appliances that just turn into shit. They even got like the new Gadget Gamer and Telephone, which is, Telephone OTKs are always funny. So, they deserve to be pretty high up because they're a based archetype. A cringe character does play them in the anime, but whatever. Awesome deck. Morphtronic need new support. They need to become the top of meta, They need to become tier 0.
Speaking of appliances, appliancers.
This is like such a weird deck.
I don't know why it creeps me out a little bit. I just don't like it. I don't know what any of the cards do.
I think they have like one main deck card and then a bunch of links or some shit like that.
Yeah, they're definitely all links. I have a bunch of them in a binder somewhere. I just look through them like, what the hell do any of these weirdos do? I like, usually I'd be intrigued, but I'm not. I am terrified for my life.
But you're not terrified of Jinzo.
Everyone should be terrified of Jinzo.
Honestly.
I mean, look at it. I said this before, but Jinzo's art is like an Iron Maiden cover. It is just so cool. It screams based boss. I can't describe it. I think Jinzo was another like game-changing monster, really, because just having a one tribute guide that negates all traps is just really good. And also he's beefy too. 2400 attack is nothing to be taken lightly, so Jinzo is pretty good. Oh, actually, his archetype is shit, but Jinzo himself is great.
Jinzo is better than the whole archetype combined.
Yeah.
It's actually fucking crazy. But yeah, and in some formats you can play Jinzo. Stop Straps might be good in the new format with the new Labyrinth card. So let's go Jinzo. Speedroids, not as good as regular Voids. They're okay. They're not bad at all, actually. They go into big synchros. They can go into your... they can very easily go into cards like Crystal Wing and stuff like that. Not a bad deck at all, not a bad combo deck. They have some of their cards hit on the ban list, but, that pretty much means they're a good deck, right? So yeah, I'd say they go about here. Honestly, like, not much to talk about. They're just speedroids, they don't do anything crazy, but they are a pretty cool deck, so pretty high up, I'd say.
Yeah, people use them as good extenders, so that's pretty good. Super Heavy Samurai. I got into this deck recently, and when it gets going, it is very good, but I don't know if it's just me, but we are very weak to hand traps now that Scarecrow got banned.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah, honestly, when Scarecrow was alive for like 1 week after this deck got support, I swear to God, we could play through anything. We played through Nibiru, we were able to set up 5 negates and +2. We can still do crazy stuff, but like, we're very weak to hand traps, and considering that every deck plays hand traps now, and hand traps are very budget friendly now, like, the deck can be weak to it, but it is so good when it gets going. It's great. And I really like decks that have like a bit of a gimmick to them. One thing I really like about Sky Strikers is the fact that they have like bare minimum monsters but a shitload of spells. Whereas Super Heavy Samurai, you don't run any spells or traps. This entire deck is just monsters. It's crazy. A few pendulums if you want to count them as spells, but I don't. It's just a deck entirely based upon monsters, and it is awesome.
Speaking of awesome, the best deck in the whole game.
Oh my god. Why didn't we put Crowler Billy Nowhere as the name of the top tier?
You're goddamn right. Well, doesn't matter. He still belongs up here. He belongs in no tier, like SSS tier. Fucking Ancient Gears is the best deck in the game. Like, just check the channel, guys. Just, check all the Ancient Gear content. You'll learn one way or another that Ancient Gears is the best deck in the game. Okay, first of all, look at them, right? They look so cool. They're just big, like Iron Giants, right? They're just so cool. Just big mechanical monsters.
This is what you think when people say machine deck.
Exactly. This is the pinnacle of machine deck. This isn't like crazy, Cyber Dragon. This is not modern kind of speedroids or roids. This is the ancient deck. This is the ancient machines. These are the machines that were, buried in the past, and they've been uncovered, and their power is just as good as the power of the new technology. So, best deck in the game. They also have the best boss monster and the best towers in Howitzer. Ancient Gear's best deck, let's go. Quantums.
Who?
Can't really call this a machine deck. Well, I mean, they have like a few, they're Exes of machines. Their main deck guys are fairies. But still, it's a cool deck. Kind of like Power Ranger, Super Sentai stuff. So it's a cool idea. Archetype's not the best, but their boss monster is pretty cool. So, you know, I'd say it goes about here.
Yeah, they just look like Gundam monsters. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. We have BES, more like BE shit. They're bad.
More like Get Good.
Honestly. Earth Machine, or not Earth Machine, jeez, I see this fucking guy and I think Earth Machine. Machina is very good. I'd say about here. Machina just have some really good cards. They have Citadel, they have Fortress, they have really good spells and traps. They work so well with just Earth Machines in general. You could put like Infinitrax, Trains, and Machina all together, and that's just Earth Machine. That's just a modern day Earth Machine deck. They're just so cool. And even back in the day, they were just really good as their own pure deck. And they even, like, if you're going pure, you still have that 4600 main deck guy who's hilarious. So, you know, this deck is really cool. Very good cards in the deck. Definitely belongs. You could argue that it's better than Infinitrax. I'd say maybe it actually is.
I put it in the top tier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Just because, like, when you see, like, that card, you just think, yeah, it is Earth Machines. Like, straight up, it became the face of Earth Machines, so I put it at the top tier.
We have XYZ.
Get out of here, like.
It's okay.
No, it's not.
It's alright.
No, you cannot be serious.
They have one good card.
Yeah, one. I like trains. Orchist.
Orchist, again, you wouldn't think it's a machine deck, but it technically is. No, not technically, it is a machine deck. All the cards are machines. Probably around here. Actually,
I think put it a bit higher.
Yeah, I think it's actually really good. What am I talking about? Heart Power is banned, which is kind of sad. But, you know, they still have Dingirsu, they still have Galatea, they have the Crescendo, they have the Field Spell, they have, you know, all the kind of combo extenders and stuff like that. It's a very good deck, and, you know, it was one of the top tier decks in TOS format, so it still is pretty good. You can also run it with, like, Mech Knights and stuff. The fact that it is a, like, World Legacy type archetype means that it just has so many cards that work well with it. So, I'd say it belongs in the Crowler tier. And finally, the best deck in the game.
Yeah, literally the best deck of all time. Despots, I played this for the $20 deck building challenge I think we shot.
I think so, yeah.
Like a couple months ago. And I had so much fun with this deck. Despots, so underrated. It was a brilliant deck and still is. I love it so much. What I love about this is the fact that it's able to take advantage of some like really broken cards, like one being
Urgent Schedule,
Machine Duplication, and Reasoning of all cards.
Reasoning, yeah.
Because every Despot is called by a different number, so you got Despot 001, 002, and so on and so forth until 9. So Reasoning works really well with it, and also the fact that they have pen scales from 5 and upwards is really, really good for like really flooding the board as well. With number 2 in Machine Duplication, you pretty much +4, which is insane. So I like, unironically, I am really, really loving the idea of Despots being really far up, because I just love them so much. They also can bring out broken machine boss monsters like Cyber Dragon Infinity, any of your big trains and stuff like that. And also Despot 004 is a fucker to deal with. So Despots, highly recommend trying them out. They are a lot of fun. Even if you're not trying to make competitors, try to have fun with it. It is a really good deck. I really love it.
So that's it for the best machine decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Tier list. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you think anything should be changed at all, let us know. If you think Ancient Gears are, you know, not worthy of the top spot, you should get off the channel. If you think Cyber Dragons are better, again, get off the channel. Or just watch the Cyber Dragon video, because, you know, we love Cyber Dragons on this channel. We have plenty of Cyber Dragon and Ancient Gear content, and Sky Striker content. So, you know.
Numeron best deck, let's go.
Fuck you.